Hailing from and representing his home of Atlanta, Georgia. He weighed in at 220 pounds. His record stands at 38 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws, with 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Having held the heavyweight title and unequaled 4 times, he is known as one of boxing's great warriors. Currently ranked the #2 IBF contender, here is the former undisputed cruiserweight world champion and the former 4-time heavyweight champion of the world, introducing the one and only Evander, the real deal Holyfield. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada by way of Flint, Michigan. He weighed in at a ready 214 pounds with a record of 34 wins and 2 losses. He has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBO heavyweight world champion, the current IBF #1 ranked heavyweight. Here is the classy top contender, introducing Chris Byrd.
Crowd rising in energy as Randy Newman prepares to summon the fighters to the center of the ring, and here they come. If you haven't seen Byrd before, instantly see the southpaw stance. Holyfield has had 3 previous fights against southpaws in his professional career. 2 of them, of course, in the heavyweight division against Michael Moorer. Won 1, lost 1. Byrd, an entirely different kind of fighter than Moorer, though. Not a power puncher like the former heavyweight champ who was knocked out by George Foreman.
You gotta make certain this guy's elbows are never out overextended. Keep those elbows sharp. Taps you close.
Byrd lands a straight left hand. Holyfield lands a left hook on Byrd against the ropes. Evander, for his part, says, I must focus on the body. When you miss against Byrd, you tend to miss upstairs, and it wears you out when you miss big shots against him. My idea, says Evander, go to his body and just try to keep my hands on him. But he's going upstairs and...
The referee is going to have to make certain that those are not backhands with that right jab that Byrd is throwing.
Well, it's a fine line. It's a fine line because he lays it out there more or less with the hand open, and Byrd is such a soft puncher. I mean, he's really trying most of the time simply to make some impact.
But he's throwing more hard.
That's Evander Holyfield's best punch, if you ask me, that left hook to the back.
Totally agree.
Holyfield trying to make the counter puncher come to him.
Hard right hand by Holyfield, drives Byrd to the ropes. Byrd ducks another punch as the round comes to a close.
Holyfield lands it right toward the end of the round. You wonder if that will influence the scoring of that round. Very difficult round.
Brother Patrick also plays a role in there. Mother Rose, Father Joe, fixtures in the Byrd corner. CompuBox numbers in round 1. Holyfield only 6 of 29 by CompuBox estimate. Byrd 13 out of 47. Yet Harold Letterman, perhaps influenced by that sharp right hand toward the end, elected to give the round to Evander. Lashing out and hitting Byrd with a right hand to the chest. Yeah, elaborate on this, George, because it looks as though he's trying to lull the counterpuncher.
Counterpunchers love to make you miss first, and then they hit you with something. That's what you got to do, is make them throw something and then start countering on them occasionally, and you make them give it up.
So Holyfield is purposely staying back and trying to lure Byrd to him.
Right, counterpunchers love to duck. The best one will tell you, I'll do it, let me duck first. A good straight left by Byrd. If nothing else.
Holyfield short with the winging right. Byrd still just popping the jab, little straight left hand, just trying to get his hands onto Evander and score.
Byrd's corner told him, look, stay in the middle of the ring. He can't get you out there. And Holyfield needs that close to the ropes to land 2 shots to Byrd. Misses him if he's out in the middle, but if he's close to the rope, he's going to land that 1-2 combination. That was a rope. Got to keep the fight close at all times. Byrd does not like close fighting.
Yeah, but the thing is, Holyfield's trying to fight, not his fight. This is not the kind of fight that Evander Holyfield has ever fought before, as long as I can remember, of trying to go on a defensive and lure the other fighter into him consistently.
Well, he's always been in with the bigger guys who's attacking him anyway. So it's pretty much what he likes, you to come after him. He'll beat you up. He just doesn't go after people as well. Love for you to try him.
I mean, this is a very big round for Byrd.
Yes, in the second round, Holyfield has looked too passive, too hesitant, and Byrd has been able to score. So just as I say that the rounds would be difficult to score, you get an open and shut case. But this fight could change several times, it seems to me, as Holyfield explores tactics against Byrd.
Byrd is no longer throwing the kind of little pity-pat feather duster punches he used to. He may not be throwing big, heavy punches, but he's throwing sharp punches.
Now Holyfield is starting to get a little more activity going.
Looks like he wants to go to war a little bit, George.
Yeah, you just can't land the hard shots. Just settle for the mid-range shots just to make certain that you touch this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let the ref say break.
Evander, 2 right hands upstairs, 2 digging left hooks to the body. Another digging left hook to the body.
Now, Evander Holyfield is fighting the right kind of fight, but you don't want to be throwing too much energy away with the power. He's fighting them the correct way, but too much energy in those shots. You got to step back and breathe once you do that.
It was interesting on the ropes how Byrd held his gloves up around his head to avoid Holyfield's head.
I think he was trying to avoid Holyfield's punches.
Well, maybe that
maybe
too.
Both. Hey, maybe both, guys. You know, it makes sense. Byrd himself said that he didn't want to focus in any way, shape, or form on the question of whether Holyfield, but he'll leave that to the referee and just try to box him.
Holyfield does for allowing Byrd to box, relax when he wants. Just can't do that.
And there's the first headbutt of the fight.
Back is against the rope. You gotta hit him. You just gotta hit him.
This style, George?
Yeah, because this guy lifts his right hand up every now and then, doesn't do anything, keeps you ducking and dodging, and makes you look foolish once you decide I'm going to hit him.
Good body punch by Byrd.
Outstanding left to the belly, right in the center of the gut.
Now Holyfield decides that whenever Byrd throws his right, Holyfield has got to throw his right. You just can't wait and try to jab with him. Make it a dance.
There's the first clash of heads as Holyfield comes in, trying to get into the chest of Byrd. And there's that straight left body punch.
Dad, about Evander Holyfield's head. Harold, how do you have the first three?
Okay, Jim, 29-28, 2 rounds to 1, Chris Byrd. Jim, let me tell you something about scoring this fight. You know, basically speaking, I always say that the most important factor in judging a round is clean, effective punching. When you're judging a Evander Holyfield fight, basically what you're trying to figure out is who's doing more damage. In round 1, when Evander landed those big shots at the end of the round, he did more damage in the round. But 2 and 3, clearly Byrd rounds. One other thing about the rules, you're not allowed to spin a guy. If you spin a guy and you hit him, then the referee should take away a point.
Holyfield getting in another digging left hook to the body and getting Byrd's attention with that right hand body shot as well.
Byrd is real good at spinning, but he's not one of these foul guys. After he spins, he never tries to hit you. That's good of him.
To watch Vladimir Klitschko and Jamil McLean 1 week removed from coming here to fight Evander Holyfield. He's just a fan who can't resist the sport.
That's why he's learned how to operate with that style he has. It's awkward. He knows it's awkward. When you get a guy who stands back and waits for you, you can beat him all night. And that's what Evander Holyfield is doing wrong tonight, standing back waiting.
Well, the story's been told many times of how Byrd and his brothers were trained to box in an 11-foot by 14-foot basement room.
Now Evander's picked up his right-hand lead.
There it goes.
You got to bring that right foot a little closer to your left and start leading with the right hand.
Interesting shift in momentum here. Holyfield getting Byrd's attention with body punches.
Corners better tell him after those break, the ref tell you to break, you got to be the first one to get back on the guy. Don't let him be the first one.
Hard left hand from Byrd, hard right hand from Holyfield. Now Byrd popping the jab right onto Evander's chin. Very accurate punching there by Chris Byrd.
And stiff jabs. That to hit Byrd in the head is like trying to catch a butterfly with tweezers. It's very, very hard.
Well, very easy if you take the power off the shot. Stop trying to hit him with a big shot.
And Holyfield gets in 4 shots to punctuate the round after Byrd had spent the previous minute beating Evander to the punch. Tracy Byrd, wife of Chris, mother of 3, looking on from ringside, like her husband, huge fan of the sport. There's one of the Byrd progeny. Only one old enough to come to the fights. 4 tactical rounds in the books, all of them interesting, ebb and flow, shifting tides of fortune. Evander Holyfield with a 12-8 CompuBox edge in power connects in that last round. Several of those connects within the last 10 seconds of the round.
That referee is staying right out of the way. I like those kind of referees. Let the fighters make the shot.
Well, it's Randy Newman, a former heavyweight himself.
You see.
Okay.
It's circle. The old square circle is the
But he's not getting away from Byrd's jab, which Byrd is just sticking into his face over and over and over.
Because it's kind of a backhand punch there.
Yep.
I guess the ref just doesn't want to get into it now, but at some point or another, you want to check him with that backhand. Got to throw 5 of them. Tap, 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 tap. Got him on the corner.
Right hand grazed Byrd. That one also a glancing blow. The body shots are landing. Now he gets a right hand in upstairs. Left hand to the body was a solid blow. Right hand on the top of the head. Byrd decides to throw back. Holyfield laying in and attacking.
Now he lets him be the first one back. That's the mistake Holyfield keeps making. He allows Byrd to be the first one back after these exchanges. He's got to be first.
Takes energy to do that.
Yeah, but you just got to suck it up and get some energy here.
Holyfield comes forward with his head and catches Byrd on the point of the chin with the top of his head after Byrd had landed 2 or 3 straight punches. Byrd popping and popping. Holyfield had the one big rally, but the rest of the round was Chris Byrd sticking the jab.
Here, Holyfield has a moment on the ropes, trying to bully Byrd. How effective is he? It's almost like trying to pick up a wet bar of soap in the shower because he is just so slippery.
CompuBox numbers in round 5. Byrd 19 out of 57. Holyfield 11 out of only 27. The heavyweight average for punches thrown around is 47. Holyfield hasn't gotten there yet or anywhere near it in any of these rounds as he hunts and pecks and looks for opportunities against Chris Byrd. Recently shortened up his punches for the purpose of just connecting with Byrd, and he said that was a good strategy on Vladimir's part.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were down on Vladimir Klitschko last week because of that disappointing fight against an opponent who didn't come to fight. But just imagine that he took 11 out of 12 rounds from Byrd and knocked him down twice and just beat him up badly.
Sticking the jab, straight left hand, beating Holyfield to the punch over and over. Holyfield waiting again. Holyfield lands a right upstairs as Byrd was whacking him with a left hook, or a left cross, I should say, to the head.
Holyfield's corner told him to be first, get back and be first. That's the first time he's done it.
Fighting against a southpaw, Holyfield goes straight right hand, straight right hand, straight right hand.
You can't miss it.
Byrd goes straight left hand and shows that the opposite is true as well.
Let's go. Through half this fight, Byrd has made Evander Holyfield.
Box estimate through 18 punches, and Byrd through 61, landing 12 of 49 jabs. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 5 rounds to 1, 59-55, Chris Byrd. Jim, I just think he's jabbing him to death with that right jab. But I got to tell you something about the rules. George Foreman said something very interesting. You're not allowed to open the boxing glove, just like George told you. You got to keep it closed. Now, at times, when Byrd throws that right jab, he opens the glove. Now, Randy Newman should warn him about that. If he keeps opening the glove, you take away a point. Under the rules, you must keep the glove closed.
Well, George.
If he comes over and punches Foreman, it's probably closed there, too.
Step back. Let me have the swap.
Does this remind you just a little bit of Jimmy Young and you, George? I hate to bring it up. But Jimmy Young was a right-handed version of Chris Byrd.
I think Chris Byrd is in a league of his own.
That fight, George Foreman against Jimmy Young, was March 17, 1977 in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Memorable night. Launched George Foreman into the next incarnation of his existence, which was out of boxing for 10 years, and then he came back. What a story.
Beat the devil out of him. Trying to counterpunch you. You just can't do it.
One of the discussions before the fight was reflexes. You have to have great reflexes to fight a quick counterpuncher like Byrd, and does Evander still have that?
No, you can't fight him with reflexes. You got to fight him with momentum. You got to get your chest right there on your head right there on his chest. Keep it there all night and throw some kind of punches.
Why is he not doing it?
I don't understand. What kind of training has he had?
No, I don't think that's it at all. I just think Evander can fight the big heavyweights because they don't move a lot. He can find a strategy against this guy. He just looks old. Just isn't there. You know, in a way, it's a heavyweight version of the lightweight fight we saw last week between Mayweather and Castillo. But it's more interesting because of the great personality and great fighter that Evander Holyfield is in America.
And you're saying that just as Mayweather was too quick and slick for Castillo, therefore Byrd is too quick and slick for Holyfield.
And he's even throwing harder punches than Mayweather did last week.
International feed for Don King overseas. A veteran blow-by-blow announcer Bob Sheridan, also called the Colonel, and one Lennox Lewis, who accepted $1 million from Don King as step-aside money not to fight Byrd, along with a Range Rover, and as part of that deal is participating in honoring and being a part of the public presentation of the 2 fights that King has paired together, this and Jones-Ruiz. We'll try to talk to Lennox later. Round 8 begins with more Byrd popping at Holyfield from long distance, and we heard Don Turner, Holyfield's trainer, saying you got to get
to sit down on the stool. Generally, when a fighter starts off sitting down on the stool and doesn't go back, something is wrong. He's discouraged.
He looks like a lot of guys have looked in the late rounds after having been flummoxed by Chris Byrd. And now Byrd is starting to smile and laugh.
Evander's turned southpaw.
And that's what Byrd was smiling and laughing about, obviously.
If only Chris Byrd could punch, he could end this fight.
For all we know, George, the fight may be over.
What a feather it would be in Byrd's cap if a guy regarded as a non-puncher knocked out Evander Holyfield, who's regarded as having one of the greatest chins ever.
And that's the way you fight these guys. Don't throw big punches, just win every round. That's what Evander should have been doing with Chris Byrd all along. Stop trying to win the guy, knock him out, win rounds.
Byrd, from time to time, embarrassing Holyfield with his greater quickness in there.
Has that backhand with that straight backhand again. I mean, slap backhand.
As I said, he's going to get away with that. Randy Newman is not going to stop that.
Easy it is to hit him with a shot. Byrd to get tagged when you don't throw power.
Well, and if you go to the body instead of to the head, too.
I don't think it's easy at all. Because if it would be easy, Evander would have found out a way to do it by now.
He just does not believe in throwing little shots, Larry.
He lands a right uppercut as Byrd gets brave and comes in.
This is Chris Byrd's version of Byrd in hand. And the Byrd in hand for him is
well, if it were a jabbing contest, they'd stop it. In the 8th round, Holyfield landed 1 of 11 jabs by CompuBox estimate. Byrd 18 out of 50. And you saw the numbers that showed that Holyfield, by CompuBox estimate, has landed only 3 jabs in the whole fight. Of course, it's hard to do it against southpaws. It's particularly hard to do it against this one.
Dives wide open.
Hard right hand by Holyfield. Byrd takes the shot pretty well. I mean, you got to be hoping you can turn it around with 1 punch against him, and if he takes a punch, well, how are you going to do that?
Holyfield just starts to get a little rhythm where he bobs to the, moves to his left and throws his hook, moves to his right, throws his right hand. Your jab does everything you don't want to have done to you.
Holyfield finally gets him squared up. Lands 1 right hand, might have been partially blocked by Byrd's glove. Hard left hand shot to the body. Byrd goes into that peekaboo act.
Holyfield is just trying to get in 1 desperate shot, that's all. No longer try to win. 1 desperate. When you get desperate like that, that's when you get hurt.
I asked Evander if during their early days with main events he ever got into the ring with Pernell Whitaker. He said no, he never actually tried to spar with Whitaker. That would have been too frustrating for him. He may feel after tonight as though he's been in the ring with Pernell Whitaker.
That's right. Weighing in a little heavier.
Look at Byrd laughing and smiling at us as he pops Evander at the same time. Evander just trying to rip everything he can with those left hooks. Crowd starting to warm to Byrd a little bit.
Rest all he wants.
Chris Byrd said it would be an easy fight. So far, it is.
And landed 14, 70 total punches in the round. Evander Holyfield throwing a total of 27 punches according to CompuBox and landing 8. These numbers are mind-numbingly one-sided at this point. Harold, how about your scorecard?
Okay, Jim, 8 rounds to 1, 89-82. Chris Byrd just jabbing him to death with that right hand.
Closer.
You see Byrd is doing this, is jabbing this guy to his chest and in the side of his arms. So even his jab will not be effective anymore. He's taking everything away from Evander Holyfield. Power, discouraged him, and everything.
Well, we've often talked about this, George. It would appear the boxing match has been decided. So it would be up to Holyfield at this point to get in there and try to make it a fight.
I don't think he can do anything. He's allowed this guy to jab him in the chest area too much. He doesn't have that power anymore. This guy's just sucked it away from him like a syringe. If he'd only been just throwing headshots, it'd have been a different story.
Holyfield trying to sledgehammer Byrd with body shots.
Hit him low. Hit him up.
And Randy Newman says you hit him low. Hey, watching what you're watching here, George, do you suspect Lennox Lewis didn't want to fight Byrd solely because he thought the public wasn't interested in the fight? Or do you suspect he wanted to stay away from that style?
Yeah, well, it's been the whole history of boxing. Stay away from southpaws, stay away from southpaws who can box. This is something hard to have one of these guys in a title position like that.
The other side of it is that if Chris Byrd goes on to win this fight in what could be a virtual shutout, he then becomes a more important potential opponent for Lewis. The big guys are the ones in trouble. He was behind 7 rounds to 2 to Vitaly Klitschko when he retired with a shoulder injury. He lost 11 out of 12 rounds to Vladimir Klitschko.
And Ibeabuchi, who scored a KO over him, was 240 pounds plus himself. Right hand grazes Byrd. Holyfield digs the left hook to the body. His very best punches have been his left hook to the body, and that follows the book. It's been Evander's best punch his whole career. Byrd just knocking him back with straight punches again. Evander trying to counter with 1 big shot.
Byrd got hurt that time. Round that last that round.
Yeah, if you were looking for a round, if you were judging, you were looking for a round to give to Holyfield, that would have been the one, because he landed some crunching punches toward the end of the round. CompuBox numbers through 10. Holyfield 72 out of 250, 29%. Byrd 192 out of 589, 33%. More than doubling Holyfield's punch output. That's the big number there.
Holyfield gets rough with this guy and start throwing those hard shots. Better do it now.
He can be rough. Well, 6 minutes to go. Whatever Evander's got, I'm sure his corner. Holyfield gets Byrd cornered, catches him with the right hand. Trying to detonate Chris Byrd the way a big puncher like Ivander did when he caught him on the ropes in Tacoma.
Byrd's got to step up and fight this man. Don't run him away anymore.
That's what he's doing.
Back him up. Back him up.
That's what he's doing right here. Byrd's trying to make a retaliatory statement at this moment.
And I think if he just put together some hard shots, he'll be happy about this round. Just put some power on him. Make him respect you. If he doesn't respect you, make him respect you.
Well,
it was Byrd who initiated that hug.
I know you're rooting for Evander, George, but he's a no-hooper right now. I mean, you want to see Holyfield do his best and do better.
I want the fans to see the best.
We all do. We all do, but it doesn't look like anything is there.
Yeah, he got him a few shots. You're going to have to bleed. You're going to have to catch some shots. But
there's a hard right hand by Holyfield.
Never open a boxing match. Never open.
He catches Byrd with a left hook, and once again, Byrd is rocked by the impact of these punches as he was at the end of the last round. And he tries to turn around and retaliate, and Evander catches him with another big shot. Chris Byrd got caught with 3 huge shots in the last 15 seconds of that round. And now we'll see if Holyfield can capitalize on that in the 12th.
My guess, it's his last hurrah. There he is, tired, desperate, almost on his last. He's not going to leave anything outside the ring. He's going to put it all out right in here.
Holyfield managed to throw 48 punches in the 11th round. That's his biggest output of the entire fight. Byrd threw 81. Harold, how do you have it through 11?
Okay, Jim. 107, 102, 8 rounds to 3. Chris Byrd. Jim, I thought Evander did enough to pull out rounds 10 and 11. Maybe I was being a little bit generous, but certainly Evander wins with rounds 1, 10, and 11 on my card. Chris Byrd, all the others. Chris Byrd, basically because of the fact that he gets off first, like you see here, clean, effective punches.
This guy moves. Byrd even think moving.
After the last 2 rounds, though, Byrd finally knows he's been in against Evander Holyfield. Prior to that, he might have had some questions.
Byrd just step in there with a straight left and get a knockdown. Show I'm in the heavyweight pitch.
Lennox Lewis couldn't knock Evander Holyfield down. It'd be shocking if Chris Byrd could. Byrd seems for the moment to have stemmed the tide of the Holyfield rally in rounds 10 and 11. He's gone back to Evander to the punch and fighting him in the center of the ring.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to do what Evander is doing. He's throwing a lot of hard shots. I mean, it takes energy. He's even connecting with that left hook to the body on the southpaw.
There were times in the fight when Evander seemed to be trying to conserve his energy. He's let it hang out a lot more in the last couple of rounds. But Byrd's winning the 12.
Come on. Now it's time to see the fight.
Holyfield was one of the last active fighters to actually participate in a 15-round fight early in his career against Dwight Muhammad Kawi. Maybe if he had 3 more rounds tonight, but he doesn't.
He didn't end the fight running away, Byrd did. He ended the fight fighting.
That means 9 rounds to 3 favor of Byrd. So Harold gave Holyfield the 1st, the 10th, and the 11th, and all the remaining rounds to Byrd. Now you've heard George Foreman and Larry Merchant, and I'll chime in with them, saying none of us will be surprised if the official scorecards are something considerably closer than Harold Letterman's 117-111. That in the entertainment business is what we call a tease.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, John Stewart scores about 116 to 112. Judges Eugene Grant and Steve Weisfeld both scored about 117 to 111. All 3 in favor of the winner of the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World, Chris Byrd.